Today on News 24, President Obama made use of social media tools in his State of the Union address.
The Frozen River Film Festival just wrapped up and a select few got to choose some of the films shown. Hello and welcome to News 24. I'm Larissa Olsen.
And I'm Olga Utopikova. In his State of the Union address, Barack Obama says in this tough economy, the federal government needs to keep investing in higher education. To make college more affordable for students, Obama intends to stop the interest on student loans, double the number of work-study jobs, and increase student aid. But Obama says that it's not enough unless the states also participate in supporting higher education.
States also need to do their part by making higher education a higher priority in their budgets. And colleges and universities have to do their part by working to keep costs down.
Obama says Americans today owe more money in tuition loans than in credit card debt. The cable channels that traditionally air the State of the Union address are now facing competition from the social media outlets. For the first time, the State of the Union address was delivered by the president and streamed live over YouTube. YouTube also became the host to the questions and answer session streamed live after the address. WSU political science professor Frederick Lee says social media has been a big part of Obama's campaign, and it's not surprising that he chose YouTube to stream his message. Lee says the new technology makes audience feel more involved and more connected with the president.
Interactive. You know, I mean, if you're watching a commercial, that's all you can do. But if you are interacting with others, it does give you some feeling that, yeah, I am participating in this. And I think that has a real spillover effect because you really feel that, well, this guy's really talking to me.
Other social media platforms used by the Obamas include Google+ and Twitter.
The 7th Annual Frozen River Film Festival showcased documentaries and more all across Winona. The festival featured more than 40 films submitted all over the world. The 5-day festival also brought music, food, workshops, and speakers. Festival coordinator Diane Stevens says the festival is great for the community.
Brings people out in the January when lots of people don't like to come out. So it brings people together, it gives us a chance to talk to each other, and we hope that it gives us a chance to envelop our resources and make a difference in the world.
And with more than 40 films featured at the Frozen River Film Festival, someone had to decide which films would make it to Winona. Meredith Olson has more on the story.
The Frozen River Film Festival brings music, food, speakers, and of course, documentary films to Winona. Films are submitted from all over the world, but there is a special committee that decides just what stories get to be told.
From January 25th to the 29th, the Frozen River Film Festival volunteers and coordinators are busy at work. But there is one group, the screening committee, that gets their job done a little bit before the festival. Daryl Lands, the screening committee coordinator, is in charge of that special group.
And what that group does is screens films. We take submissions that come in and we look at them, we watch them, we review them. We decide whether or not we're going to show them in the festival or not.
12 people are on the committee, ranging from college students to the elderly. From May to October, this group watches multiple films, but they're not just accepting anything.
Yeah, there are several themes that the film festival uses every year. Environment, world culture, adventure travel. And then there's kind of an overriding theme every year that kind of goes along with what WSU is doing this year. The home and place is part of the theme.
Films are mostly submitted online, and they come in from all over the world.
Yeah, all over the place. It's really interesting for me to, I'll go down to our P.O. box and open it, a couple times a week, and you open up and here's a package. I got a package from Moscow. I was like, okay, I'll look at this. Something from Iran one week, and so it's really interesting to see where things come in from.
And because of the documentary style, festival goers get to experience a glimpse of the world around them.
The films are actually real, and it's about the real people, and it's a documentary about them. And these people have an impact on our society, but most people don't see it.
The Frozen River Screening Committee will soon be looking for volunteers to select next year's films. That person just might be you. In Winona, Meredith Olson, News 24.
If you'd like to be considered for the 2013 Film Selection Committee, Check out www.frff.org.
The City of Winona Planning Commission passed a new bike ordinance that would allow the city to create some new rules. Assistant City Planner Carlos Espinosa says bicycling rules are established through the state, but the ordinance will allow the City of Winona to create its own rules to fit local conditions. The police department will be responsible for deciding how to enforce the new rules. Some of the rules include in the drafted ordinance include the removal of bike registration. Bikers won't be able to ride on sidewalks within the central business district. It also recommends that anyone over the age of 16 should ride on the streets. The ordinance will now be brought before the City Council on February 13th.
Minnesota courts are starting to go digital as they convert files from paper to electronic. The Minnesota Judicial Council is requiring all courts to go paperless. Law officials say that this is the biggest change to the Minnesota judicial branches has ever made. According to the officials, the initiative could take more than 5 years to carry out. A Minnesota State House committee has passed a bill that would let county attorneys carry guns on the job. The current law prohibits firearms inside government buildings. The new bill would exempt attorneys. The new proposal comes from 1 month after a Cook County courthouse shooting. Officials expect the bill to head to the full House to be voted on.
Republican lawmakers have proposed a constitutional amendment that would require voters to show a photo ID at election polls. If the proposal passes the House and Senate, the public could vote on the issue in November. Governor Mike Dayton vetoed the bill with the photo ID requirement last May. Opponents of the photo ID requirement say it would prevent some people from voting.
According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the percentage of children ages 6 through 11 in the United States who are obese increased nearly 20% in 2008. Healthy Kids Club in Winona is trying to prevent the statistics from going up. They held an event at the middle school to teach parents and children how to be healthy. Pediatrician Sarah Lalaman says her discussion is directed at parents because they play a huge role in their child's health.
I can preach to kids all day long and tell them to go outside and play and things like that, but it's still really the parents that have control of their child's environment. So hopefully if I can get them on board, they'll help their children live the healthy lifestyle that we all want them to have. So.
While parents attended the discussions, children skied, danced, and played football with Winona State Warriors. WSU football player Terrell Foster says the children are excited to be active.
Seeing some of these kids just run in here, and I got one kid dancing, doing the robot. You know, it's just so great. That just makes my day every time I can do something like that.
After the healthy activities and discussions ended, everyone got to take a break and eat some nutritious snacks. Healthy Kids Club has been around for 5 years. The event was open for children ages 6 to 11. La Crosse got a taste of Scotland this weekend.
Music, food, and good spirits mark the 35th annual Robert Burns Dinner. We'll have the festivities when we come back. The annual Robert Burns Dinner celebrated its 35th birthday by honoring centuries of Scottish culture. Bagpipers, drummers, and dancers all gathered at the Nels City Grill in La Crosse, Wisconsin to celebrate Scottish traditions. The annual dinner was hosted by the La Crosse Highlanders, a group of volunteer pipers that have been playing together since the 1970s. Steve Weber, the drummer for the Highlanders, says the dinner in the poet's honor is an authentic way to reach the Scottish roots in each individual.
First of all, speak to the ethnicity and the value of our Scottish heritage. It is not only being celebrated in La Crosse, Wisconsin, it's being celebrated around the world by Scots.
Margaret MacLeod Klaus, a Scottish-born attendee, says to her the Burns Dinner is a family tradition that has lasted for over 12 years.
It's a celebration of Scottish life, and it's a way to get together with other people that appreciate Scotland.
Doug Weinbach, the Highlanders Pipe Major, says the event welcomes not only people of Scottish heritage, but also anyone interested in Scottish culture.
If anybody ever wants to come to the celebration, or if anyone ever wants to learn how to play the bagpipes, you can contact the band here in La Crosse, and we'd be more than happy to accommodate anyone.
More than 100 people have attended the event this year, and the Highlanders hope the event will continue to grow.
A WSU leadership class is trying to give the university a facelift.
One of the students involved in the project is with us here in the studio today, coming up next here on News 24. A local leadership class is breathing some life into the edge of the Winona State campus. The plan is to create a giant mural along Huff Street. Here to talk about the project is one of the students responsible for putting the project together, Matt Wanzel. Thank you, Matt, for being here with us today in the studio. The first question I have for you is, can you tell us a little bit more about the project and what it is all about?
Yeah, so right along Huff Street on Prentice Lucas Hall, there's that concrete wall. And we were in a leadership class for Warriors Lead, the Advancing Warriors class, and several of us are involved in residence life, so we were thinking of a service project we could do that would enhance the appearance of the residence halls on campus. And one place that we kept on going back to was this wall, because there's just nothing really there, and we thought that there could be something that, and so we started brainstorming some ideas of maybe a little garden up on top of it or some sort of mural, and we kept coming back to this mural idea. And so we kind of elaborated on what that was and what we could do with it. And we got some ideas going, and that's kind of where it took off.
Okay, sounds great. How did the project come about, and who is responsible for it?
Okay. Well, in the leadership class, we got brainstorming with some ideas in a large group, and so a few of us who were involved in the residence life decided to work on this project together. And it's been myself, Aaron Murray, Stephanie Redding, and Emily Assumption. We are all third year or fourth year residence life staff members. And so we all just put this idea together and decided to take off with it.
I see. How did the community react to, local businesses and, things that are going to be around the mural? Right. How did they react to the project idea?
So far, we've done a little bit of awareness about the project, and the outcome has been pretty positive. We will be working on outreach with the community in the upcoming weeks as we get to know more about what the full details of the project will be. We'll be alerting the local businesses and kind of getting their ideas of just a heads up on what the project will be.
How soon are you planning to start the project?
Well, because of the weather, we can't actually start doing the project right now. Our goal is to have this project done by the end of the semester. Myself and Emily in the group are both graduating at the semester, so we are hoping to see this be completed before our time at Winona State is over.
Are all the supplies going to be provided by the Winona State for you guys?
Yep, the housing department will be helping to cover the price of the supplies and different cleaning process that will be needed to be done.
All right, and do you have any sort of idea or design that you already came up with that you would like to share with us?
Yeah, well, our main idea is to have Winona State written across the mirror, or across the wall, and then incorporating somehow the flaming W in there as well. We had started out with some really big ideas, but then after working and talking with some members of the President's Cabinet, Dr. Gores and Vice President Lohide, we were realizing that for a project to be there for a long time, it had to be something that could stand the test of time and could be something that would appeal to the university for many years to come. So we set on the Winona State logo and just Winona State written across it.
All right, sounds great. That's actually all we have time for today.
All right,
thank you for being here today,
it's
Matt,
my
and good luck with your project, and we hope to see it soon up on Huff Street. Coming up next, find out why WSU basketball player Grant Johnson was ruled ineligible. And the WSU men's and women's basketball teams each came away with a pair of victories over the weekend. Ken Couch will have that and more coming up in sports.
Hi, I'm Ken Kelch, and I'll have your weekend in sports. The Winona State men's basketball team received some surprising news before their game Friday night. The team's second leading scorer, Grant Johnson, has been ruled ineligible for the Warriors. Warrior Athletic Director Larry Holstad said that there was a misunderstanding in some transfer paperwork.
Two issues that came up in there. One was his eligibility based on a transfer rule, and there was a misinterpretation at the time based on some paperwork that we looked at, and we misinterpreted parts of that.
Holstad insisted that neither the coaching staff nor Johnson did anything wrong in this situation, and at this point, no games that Johnson played in will be forfeited. Now, the Warrior men took on Mankato and SMSU at home this weekend. WSU looks to defend home court and stay atop the NSIC conference as C.J. Erickson starts the scoring, knocking down a 3-ball, and Xavier Humphrey knifes through the lane, putting the Warriors up 19-12 in the first half. This 3 by John Wahlberg put the Warriors up 56-44, and Clayton Vetty helped put the Warriors up for good with a dunk. Then they would go on to win 85-63. Now to Saturday, Wahlberg got back at it again, hitting this open 3-pointer, putting the Warriors up 9. And it's Wahlberg again, this time in the second half with a nice jumper, and he gets the home crowd hyped up. And C.J. Erickson on the break to Xander Culver with a layup for 2. And this would go down to the final seconds as Kellen Taylor grabbed a rebound with the Warriors up 1. And SMSU's final heave would be no good, and the Warriors would escape with a victory 69-68. The Warriors women also hosted Mankato and SMSU this past weekend. We jump right into the action on Friday night as Katie Wolf knocks down an elbow jumper. And then we see Michelle McDonald on the baseline knocking down a jumper, putting the Warriors up 6. And Becca Friesleben drives to the lane here, putting the Warriors up 10 in the first half. And Beth Alberson knocks down a 3-ball to put the Warriors up for good. They would go on to win 67-55. Now to Saturday as the Warriors welcome SMSU to McCown Gym. Beth Alberson got it started again, putting the Warriors up 7 as she drains the early 3-ball in the first half. Michelle McDonald gets to the bucket for 2 of her 14 points. Now jumping ahead to the second half, Kelsey Andrus cashes in on a 3-ball, giving the Warriors a 13-point lead in the second half. They would cruise from there, winning 64-50. Both the men's and women's teams travel to St. Cloud and St. Paul Concordia next weekend. Now to the other team in town, the St. Mary's men's basketball team traveled up to St. Olaf College Saturday for a conference matchup. The Cardinals were outmatched, however, on Saturday as Bobby Fong and Stu Neville poured in 18 points each for St. Olaf. Michael Verfine led the Cardinals with 18 points as St. Mary's lost 90-69. SMU will try to bounce back as they host Concordia College tonight at 7 p.m. The St. Mary's women's basketball team took on St. Olaf and Concordia College this past weekend. The women traveled to St. Olaf College, losing a tough game as they only managed 19 points in the second half. Jessica Thone had 16 points and 5 boards in the losing effort. The Lady Cardinals hosted Concordia on Sunday. The Cardinals played a tough game, but came up short, losing 60-59 in overtime. SMU will try to get back on track as they host St. Catherine's on Wednesday at 7:30. Now to the St. Mary's men's hockey team. They took to the ice against Augsburg College this past weekend. The Cardinal men were not able to overcome 2 first period goals as they lost 3-2. Kevin Wentland paced the Cardinals with a goal and an assist. It was another good game on Saturday, but a similar outcome for the Cardinals as they lost 5-4 in overtime. Augsburg's Trevor Doden completed the hat trick with his game-ending overtime goal. SMU will try to get back in the win column next weekend when they host St. John's. The St. Mary's women's hockey team battled Augsburg College this past Friday and Saturday. The Lady Cardinals found the back of the net 5 times Friday night on their way to a 5-2 victory. Brianna Peterson was key, adding a first-period goal and 2 third-period assists. The two teams were back at it Saturday. Augsburg's Jessica Larkin scored a go-ahead goal early in the third period, but Haley Coulset evened the score with 10 minutes remaining, and the game ended in a 1-1 tie. The Cardinals are back at it next weekend when they take on the College of St. Benedict. That's it for sports. We'll be right back on News 24.
Local brides gathered at the annual Winona Bridal Show this weekend to check out newest trends in bridal wear and wedding decorations. The show was put on by the Winona Radio and featured many local businesses that specialize in weddings. Fashion, photography, catering, and flowers were among some of the things showcased at the event. And of course, the highlight of the day was the bridal fashion show featuring many bridal and bridesmaids gowns. The Wedding Planners of Winona, who co-sponsored the event, will hold an open house of their own on February 4th. For more information, visit www.winonaweddingplanners.com. Have you ever been to a fashion show or a bridal show before, Larissa?
No, I haven't, but it looks like I'm missing out.
Yeah.
Was there free samples?
Yeah, free samples of everything and lots of goodie bags and delicious cakes.
I was going to say the cupcakes look great.
Yeah.
They look tasty.
They look delicious. Thank you for joining us today. You can catch us Tuesday through Friday on Channel 24.
Have a good weekend.